What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the AEW Recap. This is Wrestling with Savage. It's going to be starting right now. We're going to get right into it. AEW full dynamite match card, results, grades, and some general wrestling chat. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the show. It is me, Greek as Savage, here to bring you Wrestling with Savage. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite, which just took place right now. The first match of the night was CM Punk with the big win over Penta Oscuro, who I guess is re-debuting with that name, and quite a different gimmick. More dark, more sinister. The chemistry between these two guys, I'm not sure if they ever even had a match before. I'm sure they have met somewhere down the road over the years. I don't know if they had a match. I'm going to have to look into that. But their chemistry was like out of control. So good. It was insane storytelling that you can't fake this kind of wrestling. It was old school wrestling mixed in with a lot of aggressive selling, aggressive moves. Punk sold so well that he had the whole arena believing he was actually injured. He had me even thinking he was done. I thought he hurt his knee. I thought he was done. Great work by Penta with the solo performance. I've always enjoyed his work, but tonight he put on a banger of a match, a pay-per-view worthy. CM Punk comes up with the big win. This is the only match that I'm giving 5 stars of the night. Otherwise, not much more I can say about the match except just good work. Good work by both guys to put on a hell of a show in front of a live audience. Have everybody digging into the match, digging the whole concept of this whole new gimmick by Penta, taking him serious as a solo competitor, almost coming up with a win over CM Punk, and then a great finish, jump off the top rope that led into the go-to sleep, and Punk put him away for the 1, 2, 3, and a lot of big moves in this match. It was one of the better matches I've seen open up at Dynamite or any wrestling show in a while. It was really good open match, unexpected. First time seen on AEW. I'd love to see it again. So I'm guessing this is going to move Punk up in the power rankings in AEW. I think right now he's ranked like number 5. Penta was ranked higher than him, so I guess Penta's now going to get bumped down and Punk is going to get bumped up. Right after this match, there was a big championship match between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus the Red Dragon, former NXT Undisputed members. Put on a hell of a match from beginning to end, and the finish was just insane on the match. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus definitely picked up the win, but the finish is what made it sick. The setup from Red Dragon had everyone on the edge of their seats with Jurassic Express on the verge of losing the titles. So, in Vince McMahon's words, a stupendous victory over Red Dragon for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I enjoyed the heelish reaction of the Red Dragon tonight, and with FTR coming down to the ring, it just set up like a really great scene for AEW. It made the tag team scene in AEW make the WWE tag team scene look like an absolute joke when FTR came out with all that gold from all around the world, laying claim, making it very hard to argue that they aren't the best tag team in the world, and they might even get those AEW tag team championships back, and then they're gonna have 3 titles each. I mean, that's just crazy. That's just crazy to just see that kind of picture on TV. Like when those guys walk out the curtains, I feel like I'm watching a 1980s NWA kind of show, like that old school feel that, these guys can do whatever they want. They can show up wherever they want with any title they want, whenever they want. So that's what AEW has right now with the whole Ring of Honor and working with New Japan and all these other AAA companies. It's just a different kind of feel right now. It feels more like 80s wrestling than anything WWE's done in a long time. Just that aspect alone makes it have that old school kind of feel, like you never know who's going to walk through the curtain with a belt from another company and just set up a whole new storyline that is going to just have branches for years to come, hopefully, for some of these guys. It was good. It was really good. I gave that match a 4.5. The only reason I didn't give it higher is because it was a little short. It could have went a little longer because those guys can go. All 4 of those guys can go. And I'd like to see them go on an hour rematch, hopefully down the road. After that, MJF came out. They had the signs all over the arena for Wardlow, making sure that that Wardlow is not allowed here. No Wardlow, not here, not ever. keep him home. Don't come here. You work for MJF. Follow the rules, Wardlow, okay? You have to understand that you work for the man. The man is paying you to stay home. Just stay home. Why do you want to complicate things? I guess that's what you want to do. And actually, that's what everybody wants you to do because we all love Wardlow. He's great in the ring, huge beast. So, of course, this match is going on, and it's a very short match because obviously Wardlow shows up in the arena, and he's the security guard and basically goes on an absolute rampage. I can't really give the match anything higher than 2 stars because it wasn't really a match. So, dude, you know what I mean? I'd love to give that match another look, but it was so short that it wasn't really a match. It was just a match filler to get back into the Wardlow MJF aspect, which is getting some good heat right now, especially after tonight. So absolute great work by Wardlow to steal the show with some impressive work on the camera all over the arena. And, you know, you see him in the back, you see him out by the ring. He's knocking out security guards, making it look real. These guys are flying everywhere. They came to camera, there's bodies laying on the ground. They came back, there's more bodies laying on the ground. He comes to the ring, all of a sudden there's just bodies everywhere. And MJF is scared. The match is about to come to an end because the ref is still counting. Apparently, Wardlow interfering isn't just an automatic disqualification. Instead, the ref doesn't like MJF, so he's just counting to 9. When he gets to 9, MJF takes the mic, I think from somewhere, maybe the announce table, maybe even ripped off Jim Ross's mic. I don't know, but he got a mic, and he told the guy, whatever Tony's paying you, I'll pay you triple if you don't count to 10. The ref thought about it for a second. He was like, interesting. And then immediately just count to 10. MJF is livid. You know, eventually he makes his way to the ring because, you know, at this point there's like 10 people holding Wardlow, so there's nothing he's gonna do at this point because he's a beast, but, you know, there's 10 men holding you back. So MJF gets in the ring, pushes the referee around like, what the hell, you know what, come on, man, you screwed me, all this bullshit. Basically MJF crying. Segment closes. You know, great setup. It's a great slow build. You know, one thing that AEW is doing right with some of these guys is they take their time building these feuds, and then they use one feud to set up the next feud. And a lot of companies do that, but they don't do it well, at least not anymore. So to see them do it well, from MJF to CM Punk, get Wardlow involved, and now you have a reason why MJF's not messing with Punk, and you know it's just all MJF and Wardlow, and you know who knows how long they're gonna get this to run. Bottom line is the night for Wardlow ended with MJF basically letting him know that he's going to put him to work since he wants to work so bad, and he can't think of anyone better to kill a pig than a butcher. So Wardlow next week, I believe on Dynamite, has a match against the Butcher, which should be really, really good. After that match, you have your trios match with Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, which consisted of Chris Jericho, Jack Hager, and Daniel Garcia. This match was an absolute 2-star disaster because there wasn't much wrestling going on. It was more of a brawl than a wrestling match. I mean, there were some good double team moves that led to a finish. You know, the best part of the whole night for them was them setting it up before the match even started. They have an old school jet plane that they're getting out of, letting you know that this is how superstars, sports entertainers, this is how they roll. This is how they show up to shows. Anyway, that ended quickly with, you know, Kingston showing up in a whip, and, you know, I guess they threw out the other 2 bums of the Jericho Appreciation Society. They had no shoes on. I don't know. Anyway, the match started. They beat the shit out of each other, you know, for a couple of minutes. It was just, the match is what you would expect in a 3-on-3 tag. Like I said, more of a brawl than anything else. Jericho Appreciation Society did have, like I said, nice double team moves, but it was more like a one-sided beatdown because eventually the rest of the society showed up. I think they found their shoes at this point. Makes it a 5-on-3. What are you going to do? Jericho even attempted a lion salt. That was probably the highlight of the match, and the result being a harsh miss, but eventually they got the loss because of a DQ, and I don't think he really cared. After that, like I said earlier, MJF came out. He did that whole thing telling Wardlow he's going to put him to work. Following that, you had Marina Schaefer. I think I'm saying that right. It's either Schaefer or Scheifer. I think it's Schaefer. She had a match versus Skylar Blue. And this was an absolute shit show of a match. 1 star. It was terrible. Marina Shafir, I've never seen her before. Apparently she's 4-0, 5-0 now, and she's gonna challenge I think Jade Cargill, she's good. She's like a Bianca Belair type, but this Marina Shafir is brutal. I don't know if she's going for like a slow, methodical kind of thing. It just started as a quick squish match, and Jade was in the background, not even paying attention to what's going on. The baddie section was there. They were booing the shit out of Marina, and she looked like she was really upset about it. She couldn't like really focus on the match because she kept looking at that section, and she ended up just looking terrible out there, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's just taking a very slow, methodical approach to her path in AEW, and only time will tell about that. The finish was decent because the submission looked very convincing. She tapped out really quickly. Well, I give it a 1 star because the match itself was shit. The match itself was a shit show, so we gave it a fucking 1 star. After that, there was a nice segment with Hook, and he made it known that he will be on Dynamite soon. And Tony Nese popped up, and he wanted to know why Hook is being interviewed. And then, he basically said, of course they're going to want to interview someone who has not worked for his success. Danhausen came out, tried his magic on Hook yet again, only just to fail yet again. So apparently Hook definitely has anti-Danhausen powers, because we've seen Danhausen do some shit to people, but can't touch Hook. Just make sure you know that. After that, we had a very good promo by Scorpio Sky, making him look real solid as the TNT champion, talking his shit to Sammy Guevara. We'll see what happens there, but Scorpio Sky's looking really good. After that, you had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland losing versus Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was definitely a 4-star match because there's just nonstop action when you have these guys in there. Ricky Starks was definitely taking advantage of the primetime television, and he was center stage, going old school, stealing Undertaker's move, a little more his style. And he was basically out there trying to make a statement. It looked like in my opinion, he was making way too many movements, and he should just slow it down a little bit. I see a lot of shades of greatness in Ricky Starks, but there's also a little green still there sometimes. I'm always impressed with him and Hobbs. They're both great. The match was just nonstop, fast-paced. Very impressed with the finish, attempted finish, with Keith Lee and Swerve. Swerve did a moonsault jumping off of Keith Lee's chest, and that just looked good. That's something you don't see too often, so I give that some credit right there. But overall, the match was done because Taz came in. Nice heel management by Taz, coming in, ripping on the leg of Keith Lee, and still managed to make Hobbs look like a beast. Hobbs just picked him up with that huge power slam and just ended his shit. And he got the 1, 2, 3, so you can give Taz the credit there, but all he did was just trip Keith Lee a little bit. Hobbs had enough power to still knock your ass out for the 1, 2, 3, so it made Hobbs look beastly, that he could just still destroy a man like that with one move, because Keith Lee is a big guy, intimidating guy. So great work from Taz, great work from Team Taz, and overall 4-star match, non-stop action. Hobbs looking like a beast, Ricky Starks looking like a stud. Good show so far. Next segment, Vicky Guerrero is getting hit in the face, and Nyla Jax is getting a cake shoved in her face. And the women's champion is getting assaulted by a very angry lady. So, you got to see Vicky Guerrero get slapped. So, if you still have mixed feelings about her, you can tune in to catch that. After that, there was a beautiful commercial to set up the match between Hangman Adam Page, your current AEW World Champion, versus Adam Cole next week on Dynamite in that Texas Death Match. Definitely looking forward to that. Hangman Adam Page is one of the best champions we've had on TV in a long time. His matches are always clean. He always has a nice setup for his finish. And he's very original with a lot of the things he's doing. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to stay original before he just starts doing that lariat, just basic. Because it's a tough move to do, man. I don't know how long he's going to be able to keep doing that for, man. But so far, no mistakes on his part. So I'm looking forward to that match. After that, you had the main event, and what a main event it was. We really got to get into this for a couple of minutes, because this main event was one of the best main events I've seen on TV, and, you know, I have to only give it 4.5 stars, just because it wasn't really a traditional wrestling match more than it was just like a street fight, and it was an absolute, banger of a street fight. They were like chopping each other. I mean, Joe comes out, gets a nice pop. The Joe chants start immediately. Okay, then Suzuki comes out. I'm not even lying. I can't even exaggerate this. There was legitimately 5 minutes of just chopping going on, man. Just chopping going on, man. I couldn't believe it. Like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes of just nonstop chopping. If you could see Samoa Joe's chest and Suzuki's chest at the end of this match, it was like unreal. Unreal. 100% these guys are going to be feeling this match for like at least a few weeks, if not a few months. They went home both lit up, redder than Satan's ass, okay? Pretty sure they even broke the record for chops in a match at this point with more in sight. It just wouldn't hint. Oh my God, it's been a while since I've seen chops that hard in a match. I mean, serious chops. Joe just finally letting everybody know that he's here and enough is enough. It's time for the Beast to come out. The Beast comes out. He's slapping the shit out of this guy. He's coming to take his gold. He said in the interview that, just yesterday, I'm here to take people's gold. I'm here to slap you in the face and take your gold. So, that's what Joe did. Joe hit the Buster, finishes off Suzuki with a big finish, Buster in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Samoa Joe is your new Ring of Honor TV World Champion. After that beautiful win, Joe has the gold on his shoulders for just a couple of seconds as Jay Lethal comes out to let Samoa Joe that we got your present for you that we told you about last week. We got that present for you. It's here. Come and get it. And it's a box, and it's wrapped up, and Jay Lethal goes to take off the cover, and then it's just his middle finger. It's just his middle fingers. And moments later, this monstrous man that I've never seen before, named Singh, he comes out. He's like maybe 7'3" or something. He looks bigger than Big Show. Comes out and just starts destroying Samoa Joe. So, I mean, it was a vicious match already. So I didn't really appreciate that at the end, that after a vicious match like that, this guy just wins the belt. He just signed him to the company. I know you're trying to build feuds, this and that, but you could have waited till next week to do that. I think you guys kind of jumped the gun with Singh. I think you were just so excited that you signed this Goliath human being. I don't know how good he is in the ring yet. He basically looks like, the great Khali, maybe even a little bigger than him. I don't know. I'd have to get a better look, but it was good for some shock value, but Joe shouldn't have had to suffer anymore. Jay Lethal gets in the ring, does the lethal infection, and that's the real gift for Joe. And it looks like Jay Lethal is closing the whole Dynamite show by himself, showing off his new faction, which I'm sure is to be named later. Oh, man, I might have to start watching Ring of Honor, because some of these guys from Ring of Honor are pretty good. It's just not enough time in the day. But back to the match for a second. So much respect to Suzuki after this match. He's definitely a beast. I'm going to have to maybe look up some of his history and check out more of his matches. I'm glad that they gave him a main event spotlight. And it's going to be hard to see WWE ever competing wrestling-wise with things like this, because especially now you're going to be passing off the torch to Captain America, Nightmare over there. And he's going to be taking over for the foreseeable future. But maybe I'd love to see one day Cody Rhodes has his heel turn, and it just causes a massive shockwave through the WWE that brings it back to the levels of the good old days, which is what AEW kind of does right now. Brings it back to the good old days. So that was AEW. There's going to be some huge matches next week. I will be back on Friday night to recap SmackDown for you. And coming up over the weekend, I'm going to be hopefully working on my WrestleMania special and a couple other videos we are going to be working on for the channels. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Check out my website, GreekIsSavage.com. You can find all my links there. It's been a pleasure, and you have yourself a good